Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Family Reflections. I know this setup right now looks different, and who knows what I'm going to put behind me here. Right now, it's a green screen. I just put something together for you guys. I don't know exactly when it will drop because it has to do with Valentine's Day, and so it would make sense to drop it at some point next month. But it's going to be February before the end of this upcoming week, so by all means, you'll be seeing it very soon. But in the meantime, you know, everything was already set up. The camera was set up, the mic was right here. So I figured I might as well just hop on, talk to you a little bit, and, maintain some consistency. You see, this New Year thing is working out. Maintain some consistency with the New Year for Family Reflections. So, that being said, the first thing I want to get into is Independence Day. First of all, shout out to St. Lucians everywhere across the diaspora, because Shantae's World is a very Lucian film, and we want to make it a part of this independence celebration, this year's independence celebration, right? So, right now we're having some conversations with Caribbean Cinemas to try to get Shantae to the big screen in St. Lucia, at least during the independence period, and looking forward past that as well. So all of you who have been patiently waiting, got you. All right, so we will we're going to make sure that we get that done. So just hang in there. You will be seeing a lot of promotional material coming up pretty soon, once we get that out of the chamber. Next thing on the agenda, I was watching the news, right? I was watching the news, St. Lucia news, because, every once in a while, I like to check YouTube, or on my social media, I might see a video from DBS, HTS. This is a very Lucian episode, so if you're not Lucian, I apologize if you're not understanding everything I'm saying. But I'm watching the news, right? And I see this story about this guy who went to a funeral. He went to a funeral and got killed at the funeral. Now, I made a skit not too long ago called Guns in St. Lucia. But I think the first thing I want to address is I want us to stop saying, oh yeah, that man was a bad man. Yeah, they're just killing bad boy. Yeah, that one was a bad man. So what? Now, okay, you're saying, well, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you're looking for it, you'll get it. Valid. But at the same time, we should not normalize killing. We should not normalize somebody losing their life, right? It's still a person, whether he did illegal stuff or whether he was in a gang or not. And by the way, to the families watching this, I actually don't know the guy, right? I don't know the guy that was killed at the funeral. For all I know, he was just an innocent man who wasn't involved in anything. I want to be clear about that, right? Now, what I'm trying to do is refer to the narrative that people normally spin when it comes to these kind of incidents, and I don't think it's a fair narrative, and I think it's a little misguided, and I'm guilty too. Yeah, man, I'm guilty, because I'll be watching the news and you see the news come up and it's like, yeah, this young man was killed, and everybody in the family loved him, and there's always that classic scene where the mom comes up and she's like, yeah, he was a nice boy, he never had trouble with nobody. And then they show a picture of the guy and he's like, chop chop, boom boom, you know. So you're like, Was he really a nice boy? Yeah, maybe he was. You don't know. Just because he took the picture doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't. But I just want us to stray away from labeling people or comforting ourselves with a sense of vindication because somebody died, right? Across the board, it should be grief, whether the person was a nice guy or bad guy or whatever, you know? Now, I say this while also being aware that, okay, if a criminal was like threatening my family and he got taken out, would I be sad about that? I don't know. There's a gray area, right? But I'm sure you can kind of see the direction I'm going here, or the direction I'm trying to go. I'm just trying not to be a hypocrite as I do it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All right? But going back to the original issue, I want to send out some love and healing energy to the family that lost a loved one. Yeah. So I hope our crime in St. Lucia can cool out, you know. Right now it's a little crazy. So let's start out the new year by just taking it a little easy. You get me? So that being said, the other day, and you guys know every once in a while I like to talk to you about some motivational stuff as well. This is going to be a very short episode, but I still just wanted to touch on this, right? The other day I was talking to somebody, a young man, right? Very capable young man. I could see potential. And we were talking about a goal I was asking him to set for himself, right? You know, a goal that I think he can achieve pretty easily. Well, maybe easily is a very subjective word, right? But it's a goal that I think he could achieve. And his response was, I'll try. Yeah. He said, I'll try. Now, when he said that, I thought about it. While I'm talking to y'all, I'm here organizing dominoes. But yeah, when he said that, I thought about it. And I was asking myself, when have I done the same thing in the past? You know, there's some things that you want to do, and you think about doing it. There's something somewhere inside of you, you know you're capable of doing it. Like, if you know that you could do it if you really wanted to. But then instead of committing to holding yourself accountable to achieving that goal, you decide to say, I'll try. And the reason you're saying I'll try is because you want a cop-out. You want a level of deniability, or you want a level of separation from accountability if the goal is not achieved. Right? But what does that do? Here's what I think it does. I think when you do that, instead of actually shielding you or being productive in any way, instead it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure, because you've already set yourself up to be like, I tried, it didn't work. I tried it, but you know, what can I do? Instead of saying I'll try, how about we start saying I will. I'll do it. Right? And now you've said that and you've committed. So you go ahead and do it. Right? And you move with that confidence that you will do it. Because here's the thing. I know you're hearing me saying this and you're like, okay, but what if you don't do it? You said you will. What if you don't? Then you have to accept that you failed. And in that instance, you have to accept failure in a way that is more courageous and brave and productive than if your initial response or your initial perspective was, I will try, right? Because by saying I will, you fully committed to it. And so if you fully committed to it, number one, the odds of you not achieving it are less likely or less, right? And number two, if you do in fact not achieve that goal that you said you would, now you have to face it with more of an accountable stance. You have to face it in a braver way and say, okay, I didn't do what I said I would do. Why? Why was I not able to achieve it? And now the next time around, the next go around, you will be in a place you'll be in a better place to achieve that goal the next time around. So that's all I have to say. Just commit to doing the stuff that you say you will do. No more of this pandering, cowardly, I'll try. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. All right. So folks, that's pretty much it. I love you. I will miss you until I see you again in the next 2 weeks. All right. Next 2 weeks we're going to be in February. I feel like January took a long time. I don't know what it is about January that causes it to last forever, but this was a long January. Long January. But anyway, thanks for sticking with us all these years. Thank you for loving Family Reflections, for supporting us, for supporting I Know the Pictures, Ribbons of Blue, Nana's Paradise, Troubled Waters, and now Shantae's World. There's a lot of exciting developments in the works, and we will continue to work to bring you the very best. Stay easy. Bye for now.